Chapter 38, damn it. Shirou cursed under his breath. He couldn't believe Kiritsugu had targeted him instead of Kaneth. If Skathik hadn't warned him, Shirou would have been caught in a deadly inferno while asleep. Unlike other servants, he lacked the ability to spiritualize, and his physical body would have been consumed by the flames, killing him. Thanks to Skathik's warning, Shirou was able to act quickly and use his command seals. He invoked an ambiguous command, "Let caster escape from death," to get a large amount of magical power. He then projected Ro-Ias, the 7 rings that cover the burning heavens, a powerful barrier that blocked the explosion and collapse of the house. With the help of this barrier, he was able to escape with the unconscious Runosuke. Runosuke had already become a substitute sacrifice in Shirou's plan, but his death here would render the plan pointless. Shirou quickly grabbed Runosuke and ran as fast as he could, but his eyes narrowed as he felt like he was being watched by many eyes. Some of these eyes seemed to be filled with malice, while others had unknown intentions, whether they were hidden or out in the open. Damn it, are they all after me? Shirou cursed to himself as he continued to run. He had gathered enough information to proceed with his plan, but the problem was that many people were targeting him, wanting his life even before dawn. I can't die here. Shirou gritted his teeth and pushed on. As long as he could hold out until dawn, he could take the initiative and carry out his plan, instead of being on the defensive as he was now. However, Shirou was unaware that one of the sets of eyes watching him belonged to a sniper whose rifle was aimed at Runosuke, who was being carried by Shirou. The sniper was positioned on the 7th floor of an unfinished residential building, and with just one pull of the trigger, bang, Runosuke's head would explode. However, whoosh, 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 7 black keys sliced through the night sky. Their cold light aimed at the sniper, Mia. She is Kiritsugu's assistant, with a wealth of experience in bounty hunting and combat. She quickly rolled to avoid the deadly black keys. Glancing up, she saw the person who had fired them. It was a priest dressed in a dark blue clerical outfit. Maya remembered that this man was called Kairei. He was once a disciple of Tokyomi, but since he was also chosen by the Holy Grail War, he broke away from Tokyomi. Kairei's tone was filled with overwhelming emotions as he asked, "Tell me, where is Kiritsugu?" Maya, sensing danger from Kairei, naturally kept Kiritsugu's whereabouts a secret. With a squint of her eyes, she quickly pulled out a hand grenade from behind and hurled it toward Kairei. As the hand grenade flew towards him, Kairei stretched out his palm and threw black keys to intercept it. But at the moment, the black keys pierced the grenade. A blinding whoosh of light forced Kairei to close his eyes. Seizing the opportunity, Maya quickly escaped. Over there, Shirou, running at full speed, spotted the light on the tall building and his gaze turned cold. He didn't hold any ill will towards anyone, but someone was trying to kill him. So, he had no reason to show mercy. Raising his hand, he used the remaining magic power of the command seal to project 18 sharp swords that flew toward the building like a hailstorm of death. Boom, 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 boom. The swords collided with the building in a deafening roar, sending plumes of dust and debris into the air as the structure shook from the impact. With a series of fiery explosions, the blades tore through the walls and windows, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Something's coming. It's dangerous. Blinded by the intense light, Kairei's senses alerted him to danger, and he dodged the swords Shirou had shot at him, like a martial arts master. However, he is still a mortal and was unable to avoid one of the swords that pierced through his right arm with a splash sound. Pain and blood flowed from the wound. With his injury, Kairei dared not to linger and escaped, relying on his memory of the way he had come. As he ran, He contacted the assassin who was keeping watch on Shirou and others. "What's the situation? Have you taken action against Caster's master yet?" The assassin replied, "Not yet. The situation is too chaotic for us to move. Caster is on high alert. We need to wait until he relaxes his guard before moving in for assassination." "Is that so? Then I'll leave it in your hands. Remember, teacher is still waiting for an answer." Kairei closed his eyes, replaying his hasty retreat in his mind. "Wait, my lord. The master of this caster seems to be different from the information provided by Tokiomi. He's not a 6-year-old child, but a young man." "Can you confirm that he is the master?" Kairei asked. "Yes, I have confirmed the presence of seals on the back of his hand and the strong magical aura. It feels a bit unusual. But Caster's aura is strange as well, so it's not surprising. He is definitely a master and a magus." Assassin replied confidently. "Then go and kill him. He must be Caster's master." Kairei remembered Tokiomi's nature and gave the order with confidence. He knew that Tokiomi was skilled at making strategic preparations, but at critical moments, small details like this would be overlooked for no apparent reason. Shaking his head, Kairei raced back to the holy church. He had left without Tokiomi's knowledge, and now he needed treatment for his injury. As Shirou ran for his life, the feeling of being watched only intensified. He could sense a strong intent to fight closing in on him, and his heart sank. He knew that if he didn't shake off his pursuer, he might not survive to see the light of dawn. Shirou had been running for what felt like an eternity, but the figure chasing him was relentless. Like a flash of deep green lightning, a red spear streaked across the night sky and nearly struck Shirou's next step, forcing him to stop and turn to face his pursuer. "Caster, we meet again." The chaser, holding a yellow short spear, smiled at Shirou, a little bit reluctantly, but Shirou couldn't bring himself to smile back. The person blocking his way was none other than DaoistOneTouch of the Love Spot. Taking a deep breath, Shirou tried to steady his voice as he asked, "Are you all joining together to attack me? Have I become such a formidable opponent that you need to come at me in numbers?" "Just the opposite," DaoistOneTouch replied, his tone serious. "I don't feel scared at all. My heart is filled with the determination to defeat you." "Then why are you acting with others?" Shirou questioned DaoistOneTouch. "Because it is the command of the Lord." DaoistOneTouch replied with a mix of shame and determination in his voice. Shirou questioned DaoistOneTouch again. "What about the honor of being a knight? Are you just going to follow your lord's command without thinking about it?" DaoistOneTouch replied to Caster, his face filled with shame but his tone resolute. "Caster, I am a knight. My purpose is to bring victory for the Lord. My heart is firm. It will not waver even in front of Lord Fune." Shirou sneered and spoke to DaoistOneTouch. "It won't waver. You are a person without etiquette or shame. How dare you call yourself a knight in front of me? A true knight would have destroyed his own face upon descent, eliminating the curse that plagues him. But you cannot even do this. So tell me, what right do you have to speak of your own glory in front of me?" DaoistOneTouch agreed with Shirou's words. "What you said is right. I didn't think of that. This is exactly what I am lacking." Darimud's face was solemn as he raised his bead, a yellow spear that causes an irreversible injury. With a slash, he marred his own appearance, especially the mark caused by the curse etched into his skin. Despite this, Darimud's eyes still shone as he fixed his gaze on Shirou. Any sudden movement from Shirou would be met with a fierce attack. As DaoistOneTouch resolutely carried out his own resolution, Shirou's eyes twitched unconsciously. The act of self-harm, just to showcase one's glory and determination, was something that he found hard to understand. These heroes from myths and ancient times were all crazy. Shirou tried to speak, but found himself at a loss for words. Diarmuid's determination had become unshakable, and there was no way for words to break through his resolve. With a face full of bloodstains, Diarmuid took an attacking stance and said to Caster, "It's time to decide the victory or defeat, Caster. My lord has commanded me to take your head." Shirou raised his palm and summoned multiple swords. With his A+ level agility attribute, Diarmuid charged toward Shirou, moving through the rain of swords like a blue lightning bolt. He was quick and nimble, deftly dodging and deflecting each sword with his short spear. The sound of clashing metal filled the air as he made his way closer and closer to Shirou, his intent to engage in close combat clear. As Diarmuid approached, Shirou remained calm. After all, he had been killed by a stronger spear over 400 times. Though he was just an ordinary person without any special powers, the repetition of those deaths had made him somewhat resistant to spears, especially to this move which had ended his life more than 200 times with the spear's killing technique. Skaithuk, frustrated with Shirou's lack of progress, had personally taught him how to counter this move using a sword. However, despite her instruction, he still died over 200 times in her hands. But, facing Diarmuid's move, he felt confident, because Diarmuid sensed danger and quickly looked behind, only to see a sword darting towards him, intercepting the deadly yellow rose, gliding along the spear like a serpent. With a snap sound, a not-too-deep, not-too-shallow wound appeared on Diarmuid's right underarm. How did you? Diarmuid was surprised. A caster not only has the skill to wield a sword in melee, but also knows how to break his killing technique. Because Shirou lowered his sword and said, "I was trained by the world's strongest spearman. Day after day, I was stabbed to death by spears dozens of times." "Is that so?" Diarmuid said, his voice tinged with surprise. "It seems that even a lowly one like you has a good friend. But don't you fear my direct attack just now. This is a gamble. If you win, I die. If I win, I bought myself a bit of time." "You're too crazy," Diarmuid exclaimed, holding the wound. Despite thinking that Shirou was a person without a bottom line, Diarmuid couldn't help but be impressed by his courage to use his life as a gamble. "Crazy, this is out of desperation. Everyone can see the madness on the surface, but who knows the pain in the heart?" While Diarmuid was busy deflecting the sword rain, Shirou sneaked into a nearby residential area. "Diarmuid, what were you thinking by daring to play around with me like this?" Cannith said coldly, "Chase him now. If we cannot eliminate this caster even with our combined forces tonight, it will bring shame to the Elmaloy faction." Yes, Diarmuid pulled the crimson rose of exorcism from the ground and chased after Shirou.